Hello guys, and welcome to a new video. I know it's been a while and a lot of stuff has happened in the meantime, but I'm not going to go into that today, maybe next time, because today I want to talk about some new gouache paints that I have been given by Z Art Shop. I will put the link to the Amazon shop in the description box if you want to check them out. So these particular gouache paints are by a Russian brand called Sonnet, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I got two sets. One contains 12 colors that are variations of the primary and some additional colors like greens and purples, and the other one, and that one I am most excited about, contains 6 metallic colors. And that set has been lingering around on my Amazon wishlist for quite some time now, but I never ordered them because metallic colors have always been a big disappointment for me so far. If these will be any better than the other paints I have tried, we will see in this video, but before we dive into the painting, let's make some swatches first. As you can see, most of the colors are pretty opaque when applied thickly. Of course, the opacity depends on how much water you add to your paints, but even most of the metallic colors are quite opaque, which has always been a problem for me with metallic paints. They were just always way too transparent. But these, with the exception of the light gold and the light silver, have a really good coverage. But now let's start painting, and I'm going to tell you more about the paints, how I like them and how I use them. So the first thing I want to mention is that I really love the fact that it comes in these little containers instead of tubes. This way I can just put leftover paint back into the cup instead of wasting it. My other gouache paints come in tubes, and yeah, once you've squeezed the paint out, you can't, squeeze it back in, so that's really neat. And they also contain a lot of paint. There are 40 milliliter in one jar. My Winsor & Newton gouache, for example, comes in tubes of only 14 milliliters, so you do get a lot of paint for your money. That being said, the metallic paints only come in 20 milliliter jars. On the back of the box we also have information about the lightfastness, which will tell you how easily the colors will fade when exposed to direct sunlight. And as we can see, some of the colors like the titanium white and the yellow ochre have a high lightfastness, while others like yellow and violet have a low lightfastness. So that's very interesting and important to know in case you want to sell your work. It also says on the back that these paints can easily be lifted with water. Now that is something all traditional gouache paints have in common, but I have to admit that I had the feeling that these paints do lift even faster than what I have experienced with other brands so far. And that made it incredibly difficult to layer the colors or to blend them, so after a couple of failed attempts at blending the colors into each other, which just would not work, I moved on to using a cross-hatching technique, which I have recently seen other artists use. And yeah, that sort of creates the illusion of blending without really blending the colors into each other. And I really do like the effect it gives, and I think I'm going to experiment more with this technique in the future. Like other gouache paints, they also tend to shift color when they dry. And maybe it was because I haven't used gouache in a couple of months and was totally out of practice, but I did have a really hard time mixing the right colors. I probably spent an hour pre-mixing the colors that I wanted to use in this painting, and I'm really happy I did take my time with it because the color shift was crazy. But again, it might have been the lack of practice, so I don't really want to blame these paints for it. But here is a general advice if you want to use gouache. Make swatches of your colors and let them dry completely before you apply them to your painting. As for the metallic colors, which I will use at the very end, I did apply them quite thickly and only added a tiny amount of water to them, and as you will see, they even covered the black areas that I painted on top of. So I was really impressed by them. So to sum this up, I think the set of the 12 colors is a really good set for beginners who want to experiment with gouache, because you do get a lot of paint for little money. I don't know about you, but expensive art supplies tend to keep me from painting and experimenting because it feels like a waste of money if the experiment fails, which happens a lot. But with these paints you really do not have to worry about that. I also do recommend the metallic paints to everyone who, like me, has been searching for opaque metallic colors for ages. As I said, some of the colors in this set are more opaque than others, but overall they're definitely the best I have tried so far. Alright, I hope this video was helpful. If you did like it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I will be doing videos more frequently again soon, I promise. Until then, take care everyone. Bye bye.